Hello everybody, we do have another SASL Season 3 Round 1 cast. It seems like I would feel pretty confident that this will be the last session, or I should say set, of Round 1. It is 9:30 on Sunday night. Games need to be completed by midnight tonight, so I guess leaving it a bit late, but nonetheless, they will get. You'd feel pretty confident that in the next 2.5 hours we will be able to get through these potentially 3 games. But we do have a PVZ iCeAlex versus tLdr, and obviously GSL Daybreak, our first map for round 1. As we get the loading screen up, um, I, I I mean, tLdr does stand for too long didn't read in a lot of situations. I did ask, his name's Justin. I did ask if that was the case, and he said yes. He apparently it was used to be another name, but that was taken. So iCeAlex, I have no idea. It's just one of those names. Just a bit of filler while we wait for the game. Seems like tLdr is taking a little bit longer than the rest of us to load up, but that should hopefully not be an issue. I'd have to say, been pretty satisfied with how this season's going so far. Round one's been pretty smooth. Haven't had any major dramas. It's obviously been a pleasure to be able to cast. Hopefully, I'm getting better as each cast goes down. And obviously, thank you for everyone who tunes in either live or checks out the VODs. They do go up on YouTube now, so you can check us out at SASLtv on YouTube. And hopefully we'll get into this game pretty quickly. I guess while we're waiting to load, or it might looks like we're about to go into game. So we are into game now. I will get the introductions going as soon as possible. As I said, GSL Daybreak, our first map. Spawning in our bottom left-hand corner, we do have the orange Protoss. We do have iCeAlex. And spawning in our top right-hand corner, we do have the blue Zerg. We do have tLdr. And while there's a bit of lull in anything, I would like to do a shout out again to our sponsors. Thank you to Juice Studios for cheap and reliable Australian-based web hosting and VPS. Go no further than juicestudios.com.au. And again to Terra Australis, one of Southeast Asia's most established StarCraft 2 clans. Terra Australis is a perfect clan for any StarCraft 2 enthusiast. Be sure to check them out at www.clan-ta.com. Finally, but definitely not least, we have Channel 4 News Team, a group of gaming enthusiasts delivering high quality reviews and previews of game on the horizon. Be sure to check them out at Channel 4 News Team, www.c4nt.net. And thank you again to all our sponsors. We obviously couldn't do it without them. And back to the game. We do have the pylon out the front, implying more than likely we'll have a Forge Fast Expand. It is very common on this map, PVZ, to get Forge Fast Expand. And we do have the Forge going down now, so we'll confirm that we have a Forge Fast Expand while iCeAlex scouts the base. We'll see that the pool is going down first. The gas pool went first, and the gas actually hasn't been taken yet, so it'll be interesting to see when that gas does get taken. Meanwhile, tLdr going for his own scout. He will see the Forge, and he's safely able to assume that there is a Forge Fast Expand en route. Still no gas being taken, interestingly, so... And actually iCeAlex loses that probe, trying to do a bit of cheeky harass on the drones, and did lose the probe there. We do have actually double gas being taken. Very interesting. I don't see this very often. I mean, obviously you see it as an double overlord or double extractor trick a bit earlier, but he did actually get it at the completion of his pool, which is, I guess that's the same thing. But again, we don't have any gas on the way, so speedlings won't be out for some time. But we do have an expansion going down, so a bit of odd timings, but it will get the job done. But, he is still able to scout around the base. There are no units out on the field for iCeAlex. That Forge expand does mean that your gateway does completes a bit later, so there is a lot of free opportunity for scouting. Looks like these lings are going to jump over here, maybe just chill out at the Zelnaga Tower or go in for a cheeky scout. We have one photon cannon up, so it should be pretty safe in here. And we do have the first gas being taken as well. Interesting to see when we get that second gas being taken. Will kind of gives a bit more of an idea of potentially what we're going to see in the game as the game progresses. But again, still no gas from tLdr, so won't be getting a speed anytime soon. And the expansion finishing up now for iCeAlex. If we look at the worker count, 22 for iCeAlex versus 18 of tLdr, so interesting to see. He is droning up quite a bit now, and actually he's going 2 more. So he's going a very fast third, playing a bit greedy, and I guess you can some way get away with it when you see a Forge fast expand. You do obviously realize that you're not going to have any kind of early pressure from the Protoss for some time, but again, you do have to be careful that you don't overpopulate. You do have a Zealot out on the field, and interesting micro, not necessarily required, but I guess everything counts. If we look at the cam, he doesn't actually know either of the bases are up, as his probe did get taken out very early. And the second gas now going up as a warp gate is being researched. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether he goes for, he's getting his third gas as well, so interesting to see if he goes for Robo or Twilight Council. Give us a better idea if he's going to go for a gateway heavy, and here is the Robo base. So I'd feel pretty confident that at least Immortals, but more than likely we'll be seeing Colossi tech. Depending if tLdr goes for that Roach Warren, will more than likely dictate whether we do see Immortals out in the field. He has finally taken those 2 gases, so is just starting his gas income. We'll be able to start speed pretty shortly. Hello, big shout out to Mr. Spook. And it looks like we have 4 more gates in production, so we'll be seeing that heavy. We'll make it actually 6 gates if I'm not mistaken. It does have 4 on the way. No, so yep, so 6 gates in total. So we might actually be seeing a Twilight Council go down pretty shortly to get that Blink Stalker. I mean, 6 gates is obviously a lot of gates to go down. He still is only on 2 base, so we'll also see whether or not he opts for more of a macro base game where he gets that third, because once you establish that third, it's generally you get that more gas income, and you can do some pretty vicious timings on 3 base as Protoss. But it seems like tLdr has been able to get away, at least initially, with this very early third. Looks like he's doing pretty well with his lava injects. And he did actually complete a Roach Warren, as we see here. For the unit count, he hasn't actually made any yet. 45 drones versus 48 probes of iCeAlex, so they're pretty tight on numbers. But you have a feeling that tLdr should be able to get the economic lead pretty shortly, as long as he doesn't feel too concerned about being attacked. iCeAlex coming in for the scout. We'll see the defensive spine crawler. And I'd like to see him jump up into the base so that he can see that there is this Roach Warren. It might prompt him to get some Immortals out, as we do have 10 Roaches on the way, popping right now. We do have a level 1 upgrade also almost complete. And iCeAlex actually doing quite a few offensive pylons. It's a good strategy in the sense that if he loses this one, he can warp in behind it. But he does have 3 up in total outside of his base, and it looks like this Vision Scout from tLdr does see the 4 extra gates and the Robo. It looks like we're going in for an engagement. These force fields could make a huge difference. They are trapping in the Roaches, and we're getting the unit health bars. 1 or 2 go down. We've got a 1 on red health. More than likely, his spine crawler will go down very quickly, and these force fields are proving quite valuable. No more reinforcements. We'll be able to, obviously reinforce from the main. As you can see, they are getting trapped, and very important to try and obviously, I guess, like guerrilla warfare, make sure you can take on only a few at a time, and you feel pretty confident. tLdr is actually pulling drones at the moment. He has 10 Roaches in production. Roach speed isn't complete, and he doesn't have any upgrades claimed. No, sorry, he has 1 upgrade. But again, this amount of Stalkers and Sentries, as well as reinforcements streaming in, you'd feel pretty confident with iCeAlex. He doesn't necessarily have to win with this. but again, he definitely needs to do a bit of damage. It looks like he'll more than likely be able to take out this second. He still doesn't know that there is a third if we look at the cam from iCeAlex for a moment here. So he may be falsely feeling like he's trapped the Zerg onto one base, but he is looking comfortable at the moment. It looks like we will be having some Zealots coming down here. We'll see the third up. Yeah, I mean, tLdr is in a lot of trouble, only down to 30 workers, and there's the GG. So, good timing attack from iCeAlex, going that 6-gate robo. I didn't actually need to go Colossi Tech or any kind of upgrade of that variety, just wanted to get that Observer out. Saw that it was safe to attack, and nice push from iCeAlex. I did actually forget to put up the scoreboard, so apologies for that. I will make sure it's up for the second game, but that does mean that iCeAlex takes game number 1. And we'll be back shortly with game number 2. And it looks like we're jumping straight back into game number 2. Good timing as Knights of Cydonia by Muse finishes up. It will be Antigua Shipyard as chosen from tLdr. If iCeAlex takes this game, it will take the set 2-0. Equally, as I get the music and sound back up, apologies for that. Equally, if tLdr takes this game, it will force the third and final game of this set. So we'll jump straight into it. Spawning in our bottom left-hand corner, we do have the victor of game number 1 with a nice timing push with a lot of gate units. See if he can do a similar push with this game. We do have our orange Protoss, iCeAlex. I would respond to him, but I can't because I'm not a ref. Nonetheless, spawning cross-positioned in our top right-hand corner, we do have our blue Zerg down a game. Needs to get this one in the bag to force the third game. We do have our blue Zerg tLdr. And time to get the scoreboard up and running. iCeAlex victorious in the first game as we update, and that should be sweet. And yeah, so I guess this map, I mean, we do have a forge, well, we do have a pylon outside the main base, so we may be seeing that forge expand. It's a bit of a different forge fast expand if it does opt for that. It is a larger walling over here, so generally you'll see the nexus form part of the wall. You might have a cannon here, a nexus here, and another pylon and a cannon maybe around here, so the nexus actually forms part of the wall, whereas in some maps, like for example in GSL Daybreak, which we just saw, often the nexus isn't necessarily a part of the wall. You can often just do a couple of buildings, a gateway, maybe your cyber core, and you're pretty sweet. But it looks like iCeAlex is gearing up for that same opening, that early expansion. Obviously, if you can secure it, it does put you in good stead for the rest of the match, at least, as long as you don't do anything silly. And if we look at the visions of iCeAlex, he did jump in there, did see that the pull was almost complete. Just somewhat of an earlier pull. We'll be able to get that queen out earlier, and will mean that he'll get those lava injects out quicker. Guess every Zerg has their preferences for when they drop their pull. I don't actually know what the considered is the most economical, but it does seem like he is actually getting a gas earlier than the last game. If we recall back to the last game, he didn't actually get gases for quite some time. Did get double gas at one point, but it will mean, at least in this game, he will be able to get that fast speedling, or at least speedlings up a lot quicker. And it looks like iCeAlex putting that pylon down, and also more than likely will be out here. It is very common for Zerg, if they do see a pylon going down at the natural, they will just opt to go and expand at their third location. They're going to expand there sometime soon anyway. And so iCeAlex very smartly making sure he blocks that third. These lings will actually more than likely take care of the probe. I feel like this probe probably will actually be able to go home in time. But we do have the hatchery going down, and actually very early third. iCeAlex doesn't know it at this point in time. I need to cue him. He doesn't know. But again, that is exceptionally early. Double expand from tLdr. He'll be very vulnerable early. Seeing this expansion, as you can see here, the Nexus, as I said, part of the wall. Interesting to have the pylon at the front. There we go. Having that other pylon at the back, making sure that this cannon is protected. It is a good position in the sense that the lings can't attack in through here. There's obviously not much room for, or not much surface area to attack the cannon. But you do have to be careful that it's not an Artosis pylon. But interesting to see how tLdr kind of goes forth with this. He does have 2 expansions. It will mean he'll have those a lot more lava available to him. I'd like to see him drone up a lot. If we kind of looking from iCeAlex's first game, he did go up for that 6-gate pressure. We may see a bit of an earlier push from him. He is getting that second gas up, and is actually getting the third up as well. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty similar build. I feel it's looking that way. Did get that Forge Fast Expand last game. Got the second and third gas, pretty similar timings. If we look at the resource, 35 to 28, so nice lead at the moment. But again, tLdr definitely has an opportunity to drone up behind this, and it will be really interesting if iCeAlex can actually get into the base and scout these expansions. It looks like he will be, and that will be some great information by iCeAlex. Having seen how greedy this play is, he will know that there is every opportunity for him to do a very similar build to the last game, and punish the Zerg for being quite greedy. So it will be interesting to see how he uses that information. He doesn't actually know that the second is here, but you'd feel pretty confident at this point in time that it's either on the way or complete. Looks like we were getting a roach warren initially, and here it is again. So both parties gearing up, it seems, for the same build as the last game. We did see tLdr go for an early third last game, and go into roach warren, and it looks like we've got 3 more gates. Will be 4 in total. Interesting to see if we have those 2 extras. Last time, notably, we had the Robo Bay go down for that observer. But perhaps seeing that third expansion, iCeAlex is seeing an opportunity to do a bit of a quicker attack. Actually, no, he's not. He's actually gearing up for an expansion. So there are 2 ways to look at when you see a greedy Zerg, is either to punish them with an attack, but obviously you need to do some damage with it, or conversely, you can expand yourself. Like I was saying in the first game, if Protoss can establish their third, get those gases going, their death ball becomes very notable a lot quicker, and it becomes a lot harder, especially when they get that 4th. It's exceptionally hard to stop a Protoss on the roll, and looks like we'll be getting a hard wall in here, which will jump it up to, if I'm not mistaken, 7 gates. And we do have a Twilight Council, so maybe seeing that 7-gate Blink Stalker kind of pressure I do know it is common in a 3-base situation. And it looks like this Overlord would have scouted these 2 extra bases, but won't actually see the Twilight Council, which is a pretty big source of intel. He does see that the Forge is chronoing out, so we'll know that there is an poor choice of location to put that Overseer. It will actually go down if he's not careful, and it does go down. So really poor choice of location to put that Overseer. And will not be able to scout this Twilight Council or the Robo Bay and the significant amount of gates going down. So unfortunate in that aspect. We do have a lot of roaches coming across the field, and we actually have Templar Archives coming out. So maybe seeing a Colossi and maybe some Archons coming out. But we have a Colossi tech as well. So iCeAlex actually getting almost every tech route possible. The only thing he doesn't have at this point in time is obviously the Stargate and DTs. So it'd be interesting to see how he gears up for this. He did see, I'm assuming he saw the Roach Warren, because he is building, he actually doesn't see the Roach Warren, but he is making an Immortal, so that will make quite a bit of difference if he can appropriately micro it. But the wall-in is, and it looks like tLdr is really going to commit to this, because he is trapping himself in. Will have to basically take on this army by himself. Nice walk-in on the high ground, I do like that. Will force the cave-in, and nice focus fire of the Immortal. It's the main ingredient of this force field, doing 55 damage versus these roaches, and really needs to focus it down. Nice control by iCeAlex, trying to get it in the middle of his army so it's a bit safer, and he actually has it survived. It's on 2 health now, but it did quite a bit of damage. I think it was up to about 6 kills or something like that. And if we look at the units lost, it does tell the tale. Protoss really didn't lose that much. I mean, he did lose an Immortal, which is obviously never ideal, but really, tLdr didn't really do any damage. He forced the cancel of one of the gates, but he, didn't really do the damage that he probably would have liked to, and it just means that iCeAlex will feel a little bit more confident now. That was quite a bit of an investment into those roaches. He will be getting his Colossi out. I would like to see more Immortals as well, as it doesn't seem like tLdr is gearing up for any kind of other tech. He's got 300 gas in the bank. If we look at the amount of gases, he does have 5 out of the 6 available to him taken. But he doesn't seem like he's gearing up for tier 3 anytime soon. But we do have 1-1 complete now for the Protoss player. His first Immortal is, his first Colossi is almost complete. And he's got 2 Archons as well. And it's quite a sizable force. Just be careful about engaging on creep with these speed roaches and everything. We do have an expansion actually, and he will be able to see that it's there. Interesting location, he didn't opt to put it down here, which is a common. He is actually going again, so he's doing another double expand. So tLdr seems to like the double expand when he gets those, gets a lot of money. I don't think he has a macro hatch yet, but we'll discuss that later, as we do have an engagement coming through here. He will see the Colossi and need to retreat, and this Spine Crawler is actually in a lot of trouble. It will go down for minimal gain, and tLdr on the back foot, and he needs to be careful with this Colossi. It will go down if he's not careful, down to 90 health, and the poor control from iCeAlex. It could be actually quite devastating, but he does have a lot of zealots, and they will be able to stop up these roaches. I would like to see some, micro from these roaches. Good use of the terrain here, making sure that the zealots can't actually surround, and looks like we do have the roaches in full retreat. And how many days? 15 roaches in production, so I feel confident we'll be able to repel this, at least to hold the line. But we do have more reinforcements coming through. 1-1 versus the 0-1 of tLdr, and if we go into the tLdr unit camp, he does take down the the Archon finally. More reinforcements coming in, 16 more Lings and 2 Roaches as well. But these Stalkers are doing a lot of damage, that 1-1 making a lot of difference. And again, we do have another Colossi on the way, with the Blink just finishing and level 2 upgrade. So tLdr in a lot of trouble. That expansion hasn't really been able to use these 4th and 5th expansions. Maybe that will be his downfall, investing too much in the economy. But again, if we look at the workers, 81 workers versus 59, so I'm very impressed by iCeAlex's economy. He is on a free base, but fully saturated. And I would like him to see an expansion going down behind this. He is in a comfortable position, so he doesn't necessarily have to force a win. I do like waiting for this Colossi. With 2 upgrades, it's going to do 38 damage sweeps. And he more than likely will jump up here, try and get rid of these macro hatch and the second, or the third I should say. And we do have a lot of lings, but again, they'll be quite vulnerable. They are 0-0, and blink up, offensive blink into the base. And I do like the positioning. This macro hatch will actually mean that the Zerglings can't do any kind of surround, and drones being pulled, and then GG. So again, well played from iCeAlex. Just really strong play. No kind of cheesy business. Yeah, like we said, up to 81 workers, and yeah, just really solid play. But tLdr, credit to him, trying to get quite a few hatcheries up. Perhaps if he waited a little bit longer, or I guess the timings might not necessarily be there. But again, kudos to that kind of play. It does take a little bit of a risk, but well played from iCeAlex, and he will take the set 2-0. And I believe that's all we have for this one. I will be jumping the stream off. Like I said, I think we're all complete for Season 3, Round 1. Thank you for Spook Colossi, plural. Spook, my English teacher. Appreciate it, buddy. Don't really care. But nonetheless, we will be uploading this onto a YouTube. We'll be starting round 2 as of actually tomorrow night. So look forward to that new round. Whole new set of games. We have 25 more sets to play in next week. Again, special thanks to Juice Studios, Terrestrials, and Channel 4 News team for their generous donations. And we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.